Hello, we are the University Innovation Fellows at St. Louis University. Our idea is to improve the curriculum to allow students to have more opportunities to encounter aspects of the industry and their future careers within their coursework for all STEM majors.
As students, we find value in not only learning theoretical concepts, but also in learning hardcore skills that we can apply later in our careers. And there's value with this program because connections with industry would allow students to be better prepared for the jobs they enter after college and gives them an advantage in the application process.
The problem with the current method of education here at St. Louis University is that there is not a lot of industry involvement during students' 4 years in undergraduate here, which leaves them disadvantaged when they look to enter the workforce because they don't have a professional experience. We don't have a very strong internship and co-op culture here on campus, and there's not a lot of industry contacts that SLU can work to students' benefits.
So the good news is that we have a solution. Our goal in doing all of this is to provide students with a more authentic learning experience that will make them more viable candidates after graduation. In order to do this, we want to move away from this memory-based learning that has been a problem. We want to address this issue from the student sector, which is interesting because in the past we've had change. So one of our goals is to connect industry to students and faculty through the curriculum. We want to incorporate more practical exercises and activities throughout the curriculum. And one of the ways we want to do this is by having a standing advisory board. The way this will work is we'll offer an industry partner a special seat in an advisory board. And what this basically does is we put them in a position where they can directly influence our curriculum, fund us in that particular project. We think that this can be incorporated to all years of education. This includes calculus and biology. We think that when we have problems we have to solve during class, they should be sort of pivoted towards focusing on how this will affect us in an industry setting. We also think that we should add special courses into our curriculum, such as a sales course, because a lot of us engineers end up working sales jobs where we try to sell our medical devices or whatever product it is that we're making, as opposed to actually doing the R&D for it. One of our ideas to kind of just help maintain these connections to industry is by installing a job position called a developmental director. This will be a full-time job. It'll basically be us hiring a professor of practice to manage the relationships between industry and students or faculty and maintain feedback obtained from industry professionals. The good news is that at first the University Innovation Fellows will put forth the initial effort. We're going to amass data from industry and kind of just make sure that there's a smooth transition between, I guess, not having this position and performing all the tasks that need to be done for the foundation for this position. I'm going to tell you guys about what exactly is this going to cost and how are we going to deal with it. So with all these ideas, there's obviously an associated monetary cost. We need to compensate some professors for changing their curriculum because a lot of professors have been teaching things in the same way and they might not want to change without some sort of compensation. Doing more hands-on activities during classes might cost additional money, so we also have to take that into account. And then there's the about maybe $73,000 a year salary for a professor of practice who will be basically maintaining these relationships between industry, students, and faculty. The question is, this might cost a lot of money, so how are we going to fund it? We are hoping to fund it by donations from industry. We think that an effective professor of practice would be able to convince industry to give more donations, basically. Also, donors who are alumni of the school might like this idea and like the change in culture over SLU and be more encouraged to basically donate to the school. And there will have to be some initial investment by the university at first. But we believe that this idea is sustainable, and at the very beginning, a lot of the money might come from SLU, but as time goes on, the donations will pay for the developmental director's salary and for the professor's incentive salary as well, who decide to make the switch into a more innovative teaching style?
So right now, our plan is to start out by surveying past students, so current alum, current students, as well as current teachers and faculty members, to kind of figure out their feelings towards this idea, what they would want out of somebody, whether that be those relationships in general or getting those students introduced by like field trips or site visits and stuff like that. So that's our first point, is to go ahead and do the surveying and kind of summarize those to create a timeline based on those ideas to present to our upper faculty and dean to kind of give her an idea of what the students are looking for and then what the job position would consist of, so a very descriptive detail of what the role would be and the type of person that they would want to hire. 1 semester supplemental pay for 1 or 2 professors here on campus to give this a shot to see if the role would be helpful and if they can start implementing it, and then go from there on if we can hire a full-time faculty member on for this position.